We're back in a Gunners Club.
We are, Suze. And you've joined us, and wherever you are in the world and whenever you are in the world, we're glad you're here, particularly for our audience from India. Welcome. Because you're going to like what we're going to discuss today.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Now, I'm not saying that glibly. We found out today that our major audience is in India, so you're very welcome. Today is Indian Pale Ale. Shall we?
Let's present them one at a time, shall we?
Now, generally what happens is I rabbit on with great verbosity regarding a particular alcohol.
I'm sorry, how do you rabbit on?
With great verbosity. But today...
I'm sorry, I missed that. One more time.
To put that lexicon aside, I actually will mug it up for the camera, and you're going to present for me some of these great drops. What do we have first off?
I don't even know how to pronounce that.
This is actually a Greek word. Zithor means brewery in Greek. So, brewery brewing
so
is what it says.
So, are we talking a Greek beer here?
Well, I'm telling you, you asked me what it means, and it happens to be in Greek, so there we are.
All right.
See, it's because of this classical education that I'm able to field these questions.
There's no end to it, is there? I wish there was.
But it's based on reality.
Now then, Seuss, I understand you're presenting this to me. What do we have? An IPA.
An IPA? Well, it's a beer. And it's just a random collection of them that I decided I'd pick up. And I thought, well, let's have a taste test. I have never sort of had much to do with IPA. It's either, a lager or perhaps a pilsner or a bitter or a draft. I really have no idea what an IPA is. And yet they seem to be becoming more and more popular.
Flavour of the month. Yeah.
So this is going to be as new to me as it is to you.
Well, maybe not, because a lot of our audience is in India, so you're going to be able to share in your comments a lot about it. To me, an IPA, what I'm looking for is a slightly higher alcohol and a lot of hoppiness. And if it happens to be a West Coast IPA, maybe a lot of citrus flavours as well.
Well, there you go. Well, this one's 5.4, just slightly above what our Victorian type, Carlton type beers are.
Which is about up to 4.6 to 4.9.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not...
Why don't we crack it open together and do it?
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
Straight
the nose
away.
is always amazingly interesting with an IPA.
Check that out.
Well, actually, oh my goodness, the citrus notes hit me straight away. They're just so interesting, IPAs, and it's a sort of beer which is fantastic for the spring. So we've actually led you through a few things in the last few videos. The Pinot Grigios, fantastic for spring.
Sergeant Sue, grab yourself a glass. You've got to try these.
I'm not allowed to drink in your club.
You've got your belt undone. You're off duty.
The belt is unfurled. I don't know if you've ever seen hops actually growing. I've been lucky enough to go to breweries down in Red Hill where they're growing hops, and even when you go into the entrance you get to see it. It's a beautiful thing to see. So it flowers, it's green, and if you actually hold it and rub it with your fingers, it's exactly what this smells like. So you're getting the hops straight away and a lot of citrus.
Entrance into the club requires me to say, "Up the little red rooster." What is the reply, Bombardier?
More piss.
Correct.
That's not bad. Very citrusy.
It's not bad at all. So hoppy. Probably a lower alcohol than I would expect from an IPA from, say, England. And let's talk a little bit about IPAs, because IPAs aren't from India. Sorry to dispel that myth. The same as Indian tonic water is not from India. They're actually both from Britain. So the thing was that you had a lot of people with the British East India Company working there in India who had a craving for their old beers. But, it's a perishable product. This is a food product.
Yeah.
And you couldn't transport the regular beers. So they played around with concentrates, putting that on the ship, doing all sorts of different things. Finally, they decided, let's just hop it right up and export that, see how it goes.
Does that have better keeping qualities with the extra hops?
That's exactly
seriously?
it. Here's to you.
That's not a bad drop so far.
Yeah.
Luckily.
We've got more.
Oh, yes.
So the thing about an IPA, I find, is you want to drink it, you want to drink more of it, you want to understand exactly what it is, And it's almost rude to put this to the side and to try something else, but we're going to be a bit rude.
I like being rude. So we've got something else here.
And, okay, so it simply says IPA, bold, juicy.
I mean, you know, you can't get a much simpler advertising than that, can you? Initial Brewing, they are. Bold, juicy.
Can I just suggest for you, if you have a party coming up or something in a warm climate, put the drafts and things like that aside, sit down, concentrate on what you're drinking, and bring in a couple of IPAs, just buy a 6-pack. You will thank me for it.
Well, so far, I'm impressed. I'm not easily impressed. I'm impressed. Now, this one is 4.5, which is lower, very considerably lower.
But particularly in the old days, you wouldn't have expected an IPA to come in at something like 4.5%.
Okay.
What's your first bite on the nose?
Again, hoppy, but this one doesn't hit you in the face with a citrus like the other one did. So I'm not sure what this one's going to give me.
Now, you know something else that IPAs play around with is sweetness. And sometimes what they'll use is a milk sugar.
Whoa, that's got a head on
That's
it.
holding a head, isn't it? I'm not getting the same level of citrus or hoppiness from that on the nose at all. I'm wondering if that's to do with the fact that it's a lower alcohol. It's an interesting graphic, isn't it? It's just that simple eye. So an ale is basically just a beer where the yeast ferments on the top. An Indian pale ale is something which they'd overhop, so it was ready to transport in the hot climates over a long period of time by ship.
Tell you what, it may not be heavy on the nose, but geez, that's got a good flavour to it.
I'm actually getting a really nice mouthfeel from that, actually.
Really?
And I would have expected that because the way that the head poured was fantastic. So full of carbonation, full of body, not as full of taste, but we're getting completely different flavour profiles. Surrey Hills, New South Wales.
Have a go at that one, Sergeant.
I'm too scared after the first one.
You know, one of the luxuries we have of living in the Commonwealth is when the cricket tests come on. And we can sit down, we can watch the cricket, and you can drink for hours because you've actually got something there to anchor you there to the table. Try that, Sergeant Seuss.
This should be different.
So again, we're playing with the word juicy, so they're talking about, the full flavour profile, something that will draw the saliva from the sides of your mouth.
This is an interesting label. I don't mind a look at that one. I wonder...
It's almost a bit Power Rangers, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah.
Am I hip enough to try it, Seuss? I'm not so sure.
I'm curious to see how this one... Oh, hang on. Do I dare open it? Hang on, I've got to finish this one. Can't waste it.
This is actually too good just to push aside. They just grow on me how different they are.
I'm thinking, because I've got my kegs sitting over there. I may have to start switching.
We'll throw an IPA on.
Yeah.
When I used to make beer, there were two truths that I learned from making beer. Sanitation is everything. And secondly, the music that you use to brew the beer makes it better. Keith Richards always works a treat for making kit beer at home. But you'd always make the beer according to the season that was about to come. And I recommend that you buy your beer according to the season as well. Don't get stuck in drinking draft or lagers for everything you do.
Talk about citrus.
Okay, so they've washed the can with orange, but we're going to get some citrus going on here. So
Stick your snoot in that.
see, I'm almost expecting them to label it as a West Coast IPA because Americans have really gotten into doing IPAs as well. And you expect more floral citrusness
Oh,
from the West Coast.
what a different colour that is too. They've got some serious head on these things. And this is also cloudy.
What is
This is
alcohol level on this one?
Ooh, 5.5.
So not typical, not what we would have expected in the 1800s when the East India Company was actually brewing and sending this stuff off.
This is a cloudy ale.
See, when I made beer, I never filtered the beer. When we made beer together, we had a fantastic device to filter it.
Yeah, 5
How amazing
micron
is it?
filter. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean...
What a difference that made.
That was a commercial.
Oh, I like the nose a lot.
Totally different again.
Yeah.
It's like, really? How many different flavours can they make out of one beer? It's brilliant.
Product of Australia.
There
And
you
you
go.
know, it's Victorian as well. So, folks, I'm actually going to plug this because this is really something. This is a shock. This is a shock to me.
It is.
This is a shock to
I'm
you.
impressed.
Now, this liver has taken quite a beating for this channel. But
Well,
this is something new.
you realise we're only doing it for you.
So wherever you are in the world, buy a couple. If you go to a shop and they've got a fridge there and you can buy individual cans, please do me a favour and do yourself a favour, as old Molly Meldrum would say.
That's the one.
Grab a 6-pack of different ones, try them.
Experimentation really is part of the deal. I mean, how much does it cost you to get a can or two?
Well, that's it.
Yeah, you grab a couple, you either like it, you don't like it, you can turf it. But you'll come across that one gem. Do you remember when we did the American beer comparison?
I really ask you to go back and have a look at that because we had some fun with that.
I couldn't drink half of them.
There was not one we found that was drinkable.
No, they were, oh no.
Go on.
The Sierra
Because-
Nevada.
Yeah, that was one I brought out for a specific reason to show that Americans make very good beer. And that was the one that kickstarted the craft beer revolution,
Yes,
basically.
that was an amazing beer.
Oh, for
and
sure,
I had
for
it
sure.
in mind to put a keg on of that because
Yeah.
my beer factory
Yeah.
bloke who does it for me, he says he's got an equivalent of that. I'm starting to rethink it.
And you know, there's someone who lives around that region we really should say hello to. Hello, Nicole.
Love you.
I'm keen to try the fourth because so far we are smashing it out of the park. I think it's a six for every single one of these so far.
What do we have here?
Sergeant, present can.
Thank you. I got
This one I'm familiar with, Colonial Brewing Company.
Okay. Oh, check this one out. We're starting to get up there. 6.5.
Okay, so I'm expecting something serious here because this is closer to what we would have expected in the 1800s to have been produced for the troops in India.
This one's a little bit more subtle.
I wouldn't expect that for the alcohol volume.
No matter how you pour this thing, it's like sherbet.
I'll be honest, the nose is a bit dead for me, but I'm willing to be persuaded. Just a little nudge in the right direction.
Oh, go on. You know you want to.
You're eating a Vindaloo? This is the one. This is an authentic IPA. This, I believe, is the way it was intended to be made, and this, I think, is the way it was enjoyed by the British troops. Wow.
I'm trying to describe the flavour. The others were easy. This one is...
It's almost a gamey, meaty taste, together with the sweetness of banana. It's amazing.
It's a lot more subtle than the other three that we tried. Wow.
These things have got bags of flavour. So with IPAs, it's always a thing of how much do we play with hops? I'm going to save you the answer, a lot. And how much do we play with malt? Because IPAs can really run the whole gamut of very low in malt to very high. But this is just standout. Now, these are all Australian produce, all very
Is
close.
this one Australian too?
Yeah,
I didn't check
yeah,
this one.
it is. That's Australian
Okay.
one as well.
Wow.
These are great.
Well, there you go.
You have done very well.
I got to tell you, I cannot fault any single one of these.
No.
I'm trying to. Seriously, for authenticity, I'm trying to say this one's shit, the others are okay, because we do that. I can't fault any of these.
Thank you again for joining us here in Sociology. Your viewership is really appreciated. We really love having you on board here in the bar with us in the Gunner's Mess. And what do they have to do?
Like, subscribe, comment down below.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think. We need to know. We want to know. Even if you're going to tell us that what we're talking about is crap, it helps us to evolve our channel and make it better for you.
Glad you're here.
Thanks, guys. See ya.